Welcome to Entrepreneurs Conquering the World, how to build a global audience and profit from it. With your host, Carmen Ring.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Entrepreneurs Conquering the World. My name is Carmen Ring. I'm your host. My special guest today is Lorii Abela. She's an expert in helping people to find their soulmate. She is the CEO of Manifesting My Destiny, a publishing and coaching company, as well as the author of 4 international best-selling books. But I'm going to let Lorii tell us more about herself and her career. Lorii, once again, welcome to our show. Tell us more about you and how you got where you are today.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be in your show, Carmen, and I am really appreciative that you have found me because, I think the internet has connected everyone and everything has become like a small world for everybody, especially those who are, I consider ourselves expatriates, even though we've been here for a while. But you've been asking how I started my journey, so let me repeat again. I came from the Philippines. I was living in Manila for many years, and I have set an intention. I said I want to move to the United States. So that was in 1997 that intention. So I wanted to be actually in New York. And in a span of 6 months, I was able to come to the United States, and I came on a Saturday. But I got work on a Monday. So I've always wanted to start a business, and when I have taken this e-commerce website building course, we were asked, what is your passion? Well, my main 2 passions are travel and helping people find relationships, because I have always been wondering about that. I have read a lot of books about relationships. When I came to the United States, obviously I have to learn them by myself, because dating in the Philippines is different from dating in the United States. You have to remember that way back then, I still have to learn how online dating is. I had to learn how outright the Americans are. They're very straightforward. We are not like that over there in my country. Everybody has to be working on courtship step by step. Over here, it seems like everything is fast forward and everything is photo finish, or I should call it, it's like fast food. Everything has to be quick. So it took me a while in order to adjust how things work, and of course I have to be the guinea pig in everything that I'm learning. The first book that I have read when I arrived in Manhattan was talking about this woman who has dated 100 men. I was thinking, how can that be possible? And I learned that when you're online, it's not impossible. Anything is possible. So I've seen myself dating as well, probably equal to that number of men. And I was thinking, I don't even have to cook during the weekends. I can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner because of having those number of dates. So eventually I had to progress myself, and I had to attend different seminars. And the practice that I have, I use the law of attraction in order to manifest a soulmate. That's how I have found my soulmate. So I have set intention, I want to meet the guy in 30 days. So I met him actually in 28 days. So I was so surprised. I was saying, oh my God, this thing works. So if I can help myself, I can help other people. Yeah, and sometimes I feel so shortchanged, because sometimes I'm just chit-chatting with some people, and I'm talking about what will work for them. It's not even a consultation. I was just chatting with them in a social network event, and soon they will find somebody. They will just tell to me hey, you know what, I found somebody. I was thinking, oh my God, this works wonders. I remember this girl, she was telling me that she's going to a fundraising event that evening, and I was telling her, like, about love and relationship. And the next week, then I saw her in another networking event, and she told me that, you know what, I found somebody, and I already have a date for Valentine's Day next week. Oh my God! I'm not really that surprised, because she already has that feeling that she wants to have someone. Because, like, it's the way that I teach, like, you have to have the feeling that you have to have someone in your life. So I have a background in matchmaking. I have authored books, and because, like, I have to have help not only those people who are local, but I have to go on a global scale, because the more that you will be able to help, I think, like, I'll be much more happier. And I should say that the challenge is the technical part, because I'm not a tech savvy. So you can ask me anything about social media, but the tech part, like, I had to scratch my head a little bit in order to find out how things work. There was this guy that I was trying to help find a soulmate. And he's a technical guy. He's actually a friend of mine. And I told him, like, I'm looking for, somebody who can be knowledgeable. Maybe you can refer me to somebody, because, like, I know you're working full time, so maybe you can do something for me. And he said, no, I can do it. I've always wanted to be having my own business as well. And so, like, okay, let's do it. So yeah, this is still our baby. And we're hoping that we can have this project launch mid-July.
So other than your books and social media, what marketing tools, how do you plan to take this globally? It's an online, I understand it's an online dating site. How are you going to promote it? Are you gonna be directed more towards people from the Philippines, or people from outside the US, towards US? What's your marketing plan around it?
Okay, so since this is about people who are interested with Filipinos, obviously the Filipinos are not just in the Philippines. They're all over the world, because, like, that's the main source of income for the Philippines, their manpower. So the Philippines are in different nursing agencies. They're in hospitals. They are also in the hotel industry. So they're all over the world. So if we have affiliates, then more chances that we can have more other people collaborating in making this a success. We are working on having that added in our website, because there's social media is very helpful, because, like, people are talking about it everywhere. But also affiliates is going to be a big boost for any business. I'm sure this is something which is familiar with a lot of business people who are already listening to you. So the more you collaborate with other people, the more chances that you will have a success. Just like what you're doing right now, you are collaborating with 23 other people. So, and I'm sure, like, this is something that other people can try to implement. And then maybe we can also be invited in their own programs. You'll never know. So I'm always open to different joint ventures. And even the book that I've written, it's a collaboration with other people, because you can have much more global reach, and you can help more people if you're actually going global.
So cross-marketing is a strategy that you use a lot and works really good for you. And indeed, this is a strategy that has been working for me too a lot. I know that other than the online services, you also provide, if people go on your website, you also do one-on-one coaching, you have some seminars, you have a very wide variety of services that you offer. Let's talk about, say, the one-on-one coaching or the live seminars. Dating and intimate relationships is a very sensitive topic. I feel it's very private to people. So tell me, how do you build connection with these people? How do you earn their trust so they can come to you and open their hearts about this sensitive topic? How do you connect with them?
Yeah, it's interesting you ask that because sometimes I just be surprised, like somebody has seen me on YouTube and will be starting me questions. And I wasn't even expecting even men who be listening to me because I thought it's only women who's listening about relationships. So one time I was even having coffee and then this friend of mine started to ask me about my business. And I was thinking like, really? Are you paying attention to my YouTube channel? And he said like, yes, I listen to it, you know, the certain Mondays that you're posting. And I said, really? And so like, I even have some people who are in Jerusalem. So I was thinking, wow, men are into it. So, you know, it's a good thing for women actually to know that it's not only the women who are sensitive to this kind of things, even men are sensitive to those kind of things. And so I think like sometimes I wonder like, because when I was younger, like most of my friends were mostly men. So I think like men who are sensitive, they're easy for me to they're easy for them to communicate with me. And so as far as women, like, you know, I think it's natural for women to be chit-chatting about relationships because like even when you were in your kindergarten, you're already talking about your crushes. And so I've always been open to listening to different people. I'm much more of actually listener than a chatter. So once you have learned that, you know, people are ready to open, you just have to keep on listening because like people have different stories to tell. And you'll be surprised like how amazing, you know, their situation is. And, you know, you will realize like, you know, they're not just by themselves having the same kind of problem. Even me have the same kind of problems. And I also learned that, you know, you have to be able to be focused. If you're focused and being present in the moment, you will understand where they're coming from. So you'll be talking the same wavelength. It doesn't matter anymore if they have a different educational background. They can be engineers, they can be lawyers, but you have to remember love is love. Everybody has the same kind of things that they need: love, honesty, and trust. So those are the prime ingredients that, you know, will make any relationship last. So the same thing, it's the same thing when you have any relationship with, you know, a client or relationship with a business colleague or somebody else. So those are the main foundations.
And once you have listened to them and understood where they are coming from and what their background is, have you noticed differences in what works best for different people based on their cultural background? So is your advice different from person to person based on their culture?
Yeah, I always listen to what their culture is all about. Because obviously, like even me, like I came from different backgrounds, so I have a different culture. So I had to first learn how they understood things as far as love and courtship and relationship is concerned. Everywhere I travel, because I told you, like, you know, that's one of my passions. I travel probably in close to 40 countries already. So everybody that I talk to over there, I try to ask them, even my tourist guides, I ask them, like, you know, how is love and dating in this part of the world? And so it's interesting because society is dictating how things work, and even the television and media is dictating how things work. So obviously, like, Hollywood has a big part in how things work. And I feel sorry because, like, you know, it's been the trend now that there's a lot of people who doesn't even believe in marriage. And I think, like, marriage has lost its credibility because obviously, like, you know, divorce is all over. And even in my country, the Philippines, there's no such thing as a divorce, but people are getting married and then just ending up separated. And in the end, they are just being single mothers. So I feel sorry for them, but obviously, like, you know, there's always a way in order to go back to the groove of having long-lasting relationships, just like our grandmothers and grandfathers have. So there's always hope, you know, and I always believe that love is here to stay, and people is gonna always look for love everywhere. It's not only like, for some people who are in the traditional culture, like, probably the Chinese or the Indians who actually even believe in arranged marriages. So even if you're in the Western world, love is something that people can always look forward to. And as I was saying, it's just feel so sad that the people are so ingrained in following what the different actors and actresses are doing in the Hollywood business. But when you think about it, I think sometimes no news is good news. So I always tell my clients, don't even bother watching the television, because me myself, I don't watch the television, because like, if apparently you will hear about whatever is the news from different people that you're talking to. And when you are receiving the bad news firsthand, it affects your feeling. And so once it affects your feeling, it becomes ingrained in your mind and your heart. So like, it also will affect your belief in a relationship. So if I can just have one recommendation for people, try to avoid the social business part of the news, wherein like they're talking about relationship between marriages, and then like, sometimes gossiping is always no good either.
And have you noticed any differences or how things work in intercultural relationships, especially in the US? We have people from everywhere here. US is such a mix of cultures. How does that work? Or have you any statistics? Do marriages between cultures, do they last longer or less, or how's that approach?
Okay, it's interesting because like I've seen a study, and it's interesting that there are many men who are interested with different cultures, but for women, it's interesting that the American women, they're mostly interested primarily with American men. And so there's a competition now with American men, because like, there's some Asian women who are interested in American men as well. So those people who are Indians usually have a long-lasting relationship with their fellow Indians, especially if they've been arranged marriage. Like 90% of them has become successful. And because like there has always been an influence of the Hollywood as well in the mixed marriages. So I've seen a lot of people who have been divorced. So I have a lot of friends who are from Eastern Europe, and obviously they have been a product of divorce as well. So a lot of them haven't found somebody yet, because obviously they probably thought that there's such thing as a perfect man. There's no such thing as a perfect man, because everything that you have always wanted is available to you. It's just that it's in every person that you know. So whatever you are looking for is not in just one person. They're divided in many people that you are surrounded with. So especially if you're in New York, most women over there are looking for that specific person, and so that's the reason why there are a lot of them who haven't found anybody. And then usually when they go to a networking event or even a speed dating, they always ask like, so what do you do? So I'm sure it's different in European countries. They don't even probably bother to ask you, and the first thing that they ask you is, what do you do? Like I have friends from France, and they said like they just try to get to know you for who you are. They don't even ask you first, like, what do you do? And let's say they say that in the beach, they can just get acquainted with anybody on the beach. Like, people are just welcoming. Over here, like if you say hello in the beach, They'll say like who you are and who do you think you are. So people has become so paranoid. I don't know if it's because of the terrorist thing, but it's a regular thing over here. Like people are saying like, who do you think you are? And so like people has become unapproachable. And I think that's so sad because like, you know, we're all connected to each other. And people have feelings too. And you cannot just be automatically coming from that angle wherein you're so sarcastic. I've lived in New York for 8 years and I see how it is over there. Like people are just paranoid. They're just attached and glued to their gadgets. They're always looking at their computers. They're looking at their phones. So they're not approachable. So even the people from different countries, they have, you know, catch up with the trend. They just attach with their phones. So like, you know, who do you think will be approaching you, even though they think you're so beautiful and the most good looking guy? You cannot even cross the eyes on this wonderful person because like, you know, they're not paying attention. So that's always what I'm saying. Like you have to pay attention and focus because you never know, you know, your chances is over there and you're not aware. Come to think about it, like, you know, somebody probably is trying so hard to smile at you, but you're not looking. Yeah, and you know, that's so sad.
So you pointed out some of the problems that are going on and why people have challenges finding and keeping a relationship and building a relationship based on trust and based on connection. Now, so I would guess some of these challenges and problems that you saw around are part of the things that inspired you to become an author in the field of relationships. So why don't you share with us some of the tips that you have in your books? And also, I want to know if you're planning to translate your books so your message can reach even more people on more markets.
Yeah, of course, I want to translate my book sometime in the future. I think that first one would be in Spanish because, like, you know, Spanish is probably the second language here in the United States. And obviously, like, you know, there are a lot of Spanish-speaking people all over the world as well because they have migrated. You know, it's interesting how this migration came about. I think, like, you know, the Chinese restaurants is all over the world as well. So, like, you know, you can say that the Chinese have captured the world. There are too many population that left China, but there's still a lot of men. And actually, like, something that, you know, women should think about. If they want men, there are a lot of them in China and there are a lot of them in India. And if they want women, there are a lot of them in Russia. So obviously, there are a lot of things that are included in my book. But I think, like, you know, what I usually part to women who are listening to me when I am having interviews is that, you know, it all starts with a belief. So you have to start with believing that there's someone out there for you. It doesn't matter probably, you know, if you'll come like, you know, today or tomorrow or probably even like 8 years from now. You know, you won't believe it. Some people have found each other in seniors' homes. So, and some of them are just, you know, getting married for the first time. So there's still hope. And once, you know, once you have found this perfect person for you, you will say like it's all worth the wait. Like, you know, I found my soulmate at my age at 45. So, you know, it can come anytime. It's just like, you know, you have to believe that there's somebody out there and you have to focus that, you know, it can come anytime. And when it comes, like, you have to be aware. Because if you're not aware, you will just think that, okay, this person is just somebody who's fleeting and you are not even paying attention at the good points of this person. You know, that's always happening in New York. You meet somebody and you're not even paying attention with the good qualities because automatically you're listing what is the negative about this person. Oh, okay, like this person is just an artist, or this person is short, or this person has some, missing hair. So I cannot, reiterate that you have to first focus what's inside a person rather what's in the outside. Because like, in the long run, beauty will fade. Everybody is going to have wrinkles. Men will have missing hair somewhere. And wrinkles cannot just be avoided. And you have to think that, everybody has to gain weight somehow, sometime. Because like when you reach your 40 years and above, that's part of health perspective, that you will, it's going to be difficult to maintain health, your weight. And but the thing, whatever is inside, the nice things about a guy or nice things about a woman, that's difficult to change. You cannot change that anymore, because like, that's something that they have learned way back when they were a child, something that they have learned from their parents, or something that probably they have, I don't know if you believe in previous life, but something that they have carried in their previous life, because like, that's apparently the same thing that you will move on in your next life. I as well, like, that nice things that you have carried all throughout your life.
And Lorii, because unfortunately we're getting close to the end of our time together, I know you have a gift, a surprise for our audience. So I'd like you to say a few words about that and how they can stay in touch with you and get more from you outside our interview, because we only had 30 minutes together.
Okay, of course. Of course, I would like to thank you first for giving me this opportunity, because I don't want the people to be missing out, not only what I have to offer, but also about me. So I'll be giving you my social media accounts, so they can find me at my website for coaching, How Can You Find Love? And then they can find me as well at my online dating site, which is filipinasweetie.com. I am also in Facebook. You can find me with Manifesting My Destiny with Lorii Abela. I am in Twitter, and it's called How Can You Find Love? That's spelled HOWCAN, letter U, and then LOVE, love. And then I am also at the Twitter handle Filipina Sweetie. And for my gifts, I have a couple. So I understand not everybody is into Asian women. So of course, if you're into Asian women, you can go to filipinasweetie.com, and you can have 6 months of free membership, because we're on a trial basis right now. I want to make sure that we help as many people, and it's free for 6 months. And for those first 45 people who goes to my free book, which is available in my website, How Can You Find Love, you can click on the right side. It says you deserve healthy relationships, so you can get 20 minutes of free coaching from me, and that's for the first 45. So the lucky 45 will get that chance, because like as I was saying, I found my love of my life in 45 days, so I'll give you 45 chances. All right.
Lorii, thank you so much for the generous offer. And I already downloaded your free book on your website, so I can totally recommend it. It's a wonderful book. I know a lot of people are going to download it. Thank you for the generous offer on the coaching. For the first 45 people, you're going to get a one-on-one coaching with Lorii about finding your soulmate. And take advantage of the free membership. She's offering 6 months free membership on her online dating website. Lorii, thank you one more time. Thank you for taking the time to be with us on our show, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Entrepreneurs Conquering the World with your host, Carmen Ring.